A divine call has been issued. Heaven is moving on your behalf. Beloved, the Lord has asked me to deliver this urgent message. You are about to discover something hidden for over a decade. Someone, a specific soul, has been searching for you for 15 years, and their pursuit is directly connected to the divine purpose God has placed upon your life. Have you ever felt a deep emptiness, a restlessness without a name? That feeling is not meaningless. It is proof that something powerful is about to unfold. From a young age, you have felt a calling, though words failed to explain it. It was as if a silent voice whispered in your soul, hinting that somewhere, someone was waiting for you, that something was unfinished. This spiritual calling is not a product of your imagination. It was issued exactly 15 years ago. God marked that time. A connection was activated in the unseen realm. However, its manifestation was postponed. Until now. The person searching for you has been guided by dreams, visions, and signs. Even without knowing your name, they knew you existed, knew that you were part of something far greater than human understanding. You have missed something you have never lived. You have cried for someone you did not know. These tears were not random emotions. They were a cry from your soul, a call sent from heaven itself. Each year, this person has prayed, searched, and sought direction. As you walked through deserts, they walked through theirs. But all this time, God was writing a story of reunion. Now, after 15 years of silence, the heavens are releasing revelation. Even when surrounded by people, you have felt alone. Even in joy, there has been an unshakable longing. That ache in your soul is one of the clearest signs that you are connected to something yet to be fulfilled. For years, you have socialized, formed friendships, sought counsel, and filled your days with activities. But beneath it all, a space has remained empty. That emptiness has a spiritual name, a dormant promise. It is the place reserved for someone God specifically appointed to cross your path. They have been searching for you ever since. You tried to fill that space with temporary distractions, misplaced relationships, and wandering paths, but nothing fit. And why? Because what awaits you cannot be replaced. Heaven does not work with substitutions. It works with destiny. Now that destiny is colliding with your reality. Prepare yourself for the greatest spiritual reunion of your life. Declare it now. I feel this calling. I accept God's plan for my life. Write it as an act of faith, for every word you speak has the power to unlock what has been held back. Before you were born, God had already established a promise over your life. In the spirit world, He created alliances, forged purposes, and placed strategic people to cross your path. The person searching for you is not a coincidence. They are part of a plan sealed before the heavenly throne. While you walk the earth, heaven already recorded this encounter. When that person was born, an invisible bond connected you both. Though your lives have unfolded separately through different places, different battles, different journeys, this connection has remained alive in the spirit realm. This bond is not carnal. It is not emotional. It is spiritual. This is why, at certain moments, you have felt as if someone was watching you, as if they knew exactly who you were, even though you had never met. This is why you have dreamed of unfamiliar faces, faces that brought you peace despite never knowing them, and why, in moments of loneliness, you have missed someone you have never met, because there is a living promise, and that promise has been upheld by angels, protected by time, and carried by God until this very moment. This reunion is not a coincidence. It is a divine mission. You may have doubted your worth. You may have feared you made too many mistakes, that too much time has passed, that you missed your chance. But hear this. What is from God is never lost. It simply matures until the appointed time, and that time has come. Declare it boldly. This promise is mine. I receive what God has prepared for me. Your faith moves the heavens in your favor. For years there was silence, not an ordinary silence, but a heavenly silence. God was never absent. He was preparing. While you felt forgotten, heaven was moving pieces, aligning hearts, shaping spirits, and building maturity. And now, the time has come. The spiritual clock is striking the appointed hour. Angels have begun to move, activating what has been hidden. Signs will manifest. People from the past reappearing, repetitive dreams, familiar places, words or symbols resurfacing. A sudden urge to start fresh, even without knowing where to begin. None of this is random. God is opening a rift in time, a divine opportunity. And when God acts, nothing can stop it. Not fear, not the past, not even the enemy. God's will is sovereign, and He has decided to reconnect what has been set apart for a purpose. Perhaps you are asking, how will this happen? Where do I even start? Do not worry. When heaven moves, you only need to be available. God will guide the steps. He will place in your path encounters, conversations, prophetic words. You do not need to force anything. You only need to believe. Declare now, I am ready for this divine reconnection. God's time has come for me. Your words release movement in the spiritual world. Not everything in your life is a coincidence. For years, heaven has been speaking, but you were distracted by earthly noise. The signs have been there all along, silent but persistent. The presence that comforted you, though you could not see it. The stranger's words that seemed meant for you alone. The repeating numbers, symbols, dreams. All were whispers from heaven, coded messages trying to reach your heart. And today the Holy Spirit reveals, it was never random. It was God preparing you. This is His final declaration. I am still at work. What I have promised, I will fulfill. The time has come. The veil is falling and your eyes are being opened. Beloved, today marks a divine awakening. What was once hidden is now being revealed. The footprints of God are visible throughout your history, woven into every moment. And now heaven asks you a question. Are you ready to recognize what you once could not see? Write with faith. I see. Thank you, God, for showing me the signs. Declare this truth and allow the Spirit to confirm within you all that has been concealed until now. There is a truth you must understand. Some people are part of your process, but others are part of your purpose. And the person who's been searching for you for 15 years is not just anyone. This individual carries a spiritual key, linked directly to the destiny God has placed upon your life. When God constructs a plan, He does not work with isolated destinies. He intertwines callings, He unites souls. Sometimes, in order for you to step into your fullness, a specific person must enter your path. This person was sent not merely to walk beside you, but to awaken a dormant part of your calling. There is something inside of you, a talent, a strength, a mission, that will only be fully activated when this connection is made. Because of this, the enemy did everything possible to prevent this encounter. He tried to distract you. He tried to hurt you. He tried to make you give up on love, faith, and relationships. Why? Because he knew that when you meet, something will break in the kingdom of darkness. This person carries answers. They hold an understanding that you need. They have prayed for you without knowing your name. They have missed you, even though they have never touched you. Because God sealed this connection before time began. Now, heaven is speaking clearly. Get ready, for this role is about to be revealed. You have never been alone. Even in your deepest sorrow, this person felt an unexplainable heartbreak in their spirit, a sudden pull toward intercession. When doubt and exhaustion tempted them to give up, they felt an urgent call to pray for someone they had never met. That someone was you. And now, this meeting will be more than a reunion. It will be an awakening. It will be the beginning of a new chapter, one that has already been written in the heavens. Declare this with spiritual authority. I receive this divine connection. My purpose will be activated. Let this statement be a seal in the spiritual world of what is about to unfold. Have you ever sensed an invisible protection around you? Have you ever escaped danger without understanding how? Have you ever felt an unexplained peace, like a supernatural embrace? These moments were not coincidences. They were angelic interventions. God sent angels to guard you, even from your mother's womb. And 15 years ago, an even greater reinforcement was deployed. Angels began following you, not only to protect you, but to guide you to this divine appointment. Heaven knew that resistance would come. The enemy would try to confuse, delay, and distract. Therefore, God sent heavenly messengers to ensure that nothing would keep you from this moment. They have manifested in prophetic dreams, through strangers who spoke words meant just for you, through intuitions that steered you away from danger. And perhaps you ignored these signs, dismissing them as mere coincidences. But God has brought you to this moment to tell you, I have sent angels ahead of you. They are moving silently, removing obstacles, preparing the way. They are around the person searching for you, ministering peace, restoring hope, stirring their spirit with the promise of what is to come. Do not think this reunion depends solely on you. It requires your obedience to the revelation being given. Pay attention now. God is releasing angels with specific instructions. You will notice clearer dreams, people speaking words that stir your heart, names resurfacing, memories reigniting. Do not dismiss them. These are the angels whispering, it is coming. Prepare yourself. Declare now, with unwavering faith, I receive the visitation of heaven's angels. There is a silent war unfolding around you. You may not see it, but in the spirit realm, Angels have risen in your favor. They have been trying to warn you, sending signs, placing sensations in your spirit. Have you ever awoken with your heart racing as if something was about to happen? Have you ever felt a deep chill in prayer, as if heaven itself stood beside you? Have you ever entered a place and felt an overwhelming presence, as if unseen eyes watched over you? These were not coincidences. They were attempts by the angels to catch your attention. Now, heaven is tearing down every barrier that keeps you from perceiving their presence. The angels are more active than ever, leading you back to your ordained path. They are eliminating distractions, clearing the noise from your mind, pushing you gently toward the eternal. Do you truly believe it was a coincidence that you found this message today? It was not. This is one of heaven's final alerts, one of the last angelic touches saying, "Pay attention. The one you seek is also seeking you. Time is moving forward." And the Bible reminds us, angels are ministers, serving those who will inherit salvation. You have an inheritance. You have a promise. And heaven is ensuring that you do not miss your appointed destiny. Declare boldly, "Lord, send your angels." I want to hear your voice. This phrase is an invitation, an activation in the spiritual world. As you declare it, the invisible will move into visibility. Perhaps you have asked, "Why have I suffered so much? Why have relationships falling apart, doors closed, betrayals shaken you?" It was not punishment. It was preparation. God was protecting, refining, constructing the foundation for what is to come. The pain that followed you was not random. It was a tool in the hands of God. He kept you from being entangled in places that were never meant for you. He shielded you from dangerous connections that would have led you astray. And now, the time has come. Perhaps today, as you reflect, you will recognize the losses that once broke you. People you loved but who drifted apart. Plans that seemed perfect but collapsed. Doors that closed just before your breakthrough. And today, heaven reveals the truth. None of it was in vain. The divine unfolding has already begun. Your appointed time is here. Your pain was not in vain. It was the path to your destiny. Beloved, I allowed the pain because it would lead you exactly where I needed you to be. God never wastes a tear. Every cry, every silence, every lonely night was recorded. While you suffered, He shaped your heart, humbled your pride, taught you dependence, and strengthened your faith. Pain makes you bend, and when a soul bends in surrender, heaven touches the earth. It was in your weakest moment that God began to work within you, lifting you up with strength. And now, just when all seemed silent, the heavens are shifting. The person you seek and the one who seeks you has walked the same path. Only after enduring pain comes the maturity to embrace what is eternal. Declare it boldly now. I understand my pain had a purpose. I am ready for whatever comes from God. This confession holds power. It turns wounds into doors, closes cycles of suffering, and opens paths of glory. The enemy tried to convince you that it was the end, that the broken pieces could never be restored, that lost time could never be recovered. But God has brought you here today to tell you this: nothing is lost when He is in control. Everything stolen, everything destroyed, everything taken. He is restoring it now. Time is no obstacle to the Creator of time. What you thought was lost forever, He can be brought back, twice over. And more than restoring what was stolen, He is giving you something new, something greater, something eternal. You cried for friendships that faded, for promises that were broken, for dreams that seemed to die. But heaven has waited for the right moment to act, and that moment is now. God is restoring your hope, renewing your faith, rebuilding your identity, and reviving your emotions. But beyond that, He is restoring the bridge between you and the one you have longed for. This spiritual bridge was burned by struggles, distractions, and enemy attacks. But the Lord of hosts is rebuilding the path. He is reconnecting the unseen threads that weave your destiny together. Perhaps you've said, "It's been too long. My time has passed. I've accepted loneliness." But today, God answers you. I am the God who restores years. I am the God who raises what was buried. I am the God who makes all things new. Declare with faith, God is restoring everything in my life. I believe. Speak it with authority because restoration has already begun. What seemed lost will become a living testimony of divine faithfulness. There is a reason you never quite fit in, even when you tried to conform. Something inside you always whispered, "You are not from here. You are on a mission. You were set apart from your mother's womb. Heaven marked your identity before you were born. Your story was never random. It was written with purpose. Every moment, even the painful ones, was setting the stage for a prophetic reunion. Yes, you and the person who has been searching for you for 15 years were spiritually sealed. You were separated, set apart, to live out something beyond emotion. It is spiritual. It is eternal. It is God's plan. And that is why the attacks were so relentless. The enemy tried to make you doubt love, tried to harden your heart, pushed you into empty relationships, tempted you to accept far less than what God prepared for you. Why? Because He knew that if this reunion happens, a cycle of divine light will be released and spiritual chains will be shattered. But the enemy failed. You did not give up. You survived. And now you are here receiving this message because heaven is repositioning you at the center of the promise. Your separation was not isolation. It was sanctification. It was God removing you from certain environments, shielding you from certain people, and preserving your heart for the right time. And now, God speaks. I have set you apart because what I have for you is unique, powerful, and prophetic. This reunion will be a turning point. After this, nothing will be the same. Because you were never made for crumbs, you were set apart for the fullness of my promise. Declare boldly, I was set apart for this purpose. I am ready to live what God has in store for me. This statement opens doors, seals surrender, and activates your new season. You have waited too long, waited for answers, for signs, for someone who understands your soul. And in time, your heart grew used to the silence. But here is what you did not know. While you waited, heaven was preparing. You have not been forgotten. You have been reserved. God was not late. He was strategic. He knew the exact moment the precise place, and the perfect spiritual condition to release what had been promised. And now, something is moving. You feel it. A restlessness, not of sadness, but of awakening. Your spirit is on alert. Your heart is responding to an eternal truth. The waiting is about to end. Maybe you have waited so long that you don't know how to react to the movement. But the Holy Spirit speaks now. Rise up, prepare, take your stand, because I am bringing answers. The one who has searched for you has also been preparing. They too have waited. And just as you shed tears for something unknown, they too wept for an absence they could not name. That absence was you. And now, when all seems lost, heaven is commanding you to draw near. The wait has produced strength. The wait has birthed discernment. The wait has built courage. And when this reunion comes, you will understand why it took so long. You will say, it was necessary, and it was worth it. Do not lose focus now. Do not abandon your faith now. You are steps away from the promise. You are on the final stretch of your spiritual path. Declare it with faith. My wait is ending. I am ready to receive what I have waited for so long. This statement is a trumpet in heaven, announcing that you are ready. And when heaven moves, nothing can stop what is coming. Before receiving the new, you must release the old. Before stepping into the promise, let go of the pain. And perhaps the greatest challenge is this: forgive those who left you. Forgiveness is the key to your healing. God is preparing you for restoration. Forgive those who betrayed you. Forgive those who did not value you. Forgive even yourself. For the past 15 years, your waiting has been more than just passing time. It has been an internal struggle. You have carried sorrows, silent wounds, and deep disappointments, pains that still manifest as insecurity, distrust, and the fear of being let down again. But today, God is saying, I want to heal you from within, so you can live something whole. You cannot step into your prophetic reunion with a broken heart. Healing is not a luxury. It is a spiritual necessity. Because God does not merely unite bodies, He unites souls, and He alone can bind together what is already freed. Maybe you tried to pretend that you moved on. Try to distract yourself, push past the memories, convince yourself that it didn't hurt anymore. But deep down, your spirit knows. There are wounds that remain open, places within you that still ache. And that is where the touch of heaven moves, not to judge, not to expose, but to cleanse, restore, and rebuild. Forgiveness does not mean that what they did was right. It means you will no longer carry the weight of that pain. It is the act of releasing what held you back so that you can fly. It makes room for the new things God has prepared for you. It allows your spirit to be ready for the reunion ahead. A reunion built not on ruins, but on wholeness. And yes, perhaps this person who is approaching you also needs to be released. Perhaps you need to forgive them, even before knowing them. Not because of what they did, but because of what life made you feel before they arrived. Forgive the time, forgive the absence, forgive the delays, because what matters now is not what lies behind, but what stands before you. Declare this with humility and faith. Lord, I want to be healed from within. I am ready to live in the newness of God. This declaration is the first step toward freedom, the key that unlocks the door to what heaven has prepared for you. A life-changing reunion is on its way. There are meetings that come and go. There are meetings arranged by circumstance. And then there is a meeting ordained in heaven, one that shifts the very course of your life. This is the kind of encounter that is being prepared for you. After years of waiting, after seasons of pain, healing, and preparation, God is about to allow two souls to recognize each other in an instant. It will not be about appearances, status, or fleeting interests. It will be spiritual. It will be inevitable, as if time itself stands still to witness the fulfillment of the promise. When this reunion happens, you will feel something you have never felt before. It will not be anxiety. There will be no doubts. It will be peaceful. The peace of one who has found what was always meant to exist, now finally revealed. You will not have to force anything. You will not have to prove anything. Everything will flow naturally, because it was already written before you were born. This person will look into your eyes and feel as if they have been waiting for you their entire life. And in that moment, you will understand. The journey had meaning. The deserts, the silences, the heartbreaks, the tears, all of it was necessary. God never entrusts something precious to someone who is not ready to receive it. But now, you are ready. Now, they are ready. Now, heaven is moving to align your paths. And when that encounter happens, nothing will remain the same. Your prayers will change. Your vision of life will shift. Your heart will beat to a new rhythm. This reunion will be the turning point of your story. Declare this with spiritual authority. I receive this encounter that will change my life. I am ready to step into what God has written for me. This phrase activates the promise in the spiritual realm. You did not wait in vain. God was preparing you for a divine inheritance. Do you believe that these 15 years of waiting were meaningless? Do you believe that God allowed your tears, your trials, your struggles for nothing? Of course not. Behind every moment of suffering, there was a hidden blessing, a sealed promise, a divine favor, reserved for the appointed time. God never lost control, not for a single second. You were trained in the desert to carry an inheritance that many could not bear. It was in the waiting that your faith matured. It was in solitude that your dependence on God was strengthened. It was in tears that your intimacy with the Spirit deepened. And now, heaven reveals. The blessing is coming, and it is greater than you imagined. This journey wasn't ordinary, and neither will be the reward. Your upcoming reunion isn't just consolation. It is a divine strategy. It is an elevation of purpose, not only for you, but for the lives you will touch. This person, who has sought you for so long, carries blessings that belong to you by spiritual inheritance. And as your paths align, blessings within you will also be activated. Blessings that were meant to be released together. When purpose aligns with God's timing, heaven pours out everything that was withheld. There will be gifts awakened, Doors opened, cycles closed, healings released, just by the presence of this person in your life. And it is already on its way. You did not arrive here by accident. This story that seemed broken, this life that felt scattered, was actually a divine masterpiece designed by the hands of the Father. And today He reveals to you. The pain was never the end. It was the frame around the blessing that was always hidden. Declare it now. Lord, I receive this blessing. Thank you for never giving up on my story. This act of faith activates the supernatural. What was stuck begins to move when the heart recognizes. God has always been behind it all. From the beginning, heaven had already determined this reunion. It was never just a feeling, never blind hope. It was a prophecy, a promise written in heaven, preserved by angels, and kept alive in your spirit. Even when the world tried to convince you otherwise, you survived the waiting because your soul already knew something great is coming my way. And now, the Spirit confirms the time of reunion has arrived. It will not be as you imagined. A new cycle begins. God's timing is perfect. It will be bigger, deeper, and more true than anything you have imagined. The person who has been searching for you will recognize you, and you will recognize them. Because what unites you is not the past, but the purpose. It is a spiritual attunement, a connection that cannot be explained, only felt. And when that encounter happens, you will feel heaven within you. You will understand why everything had to unfold the way it did. You will realize that no delay was in vain. Every tear has drawn you closer to the promise. Every moment of silence from God was not abandonment. It was preparation. Now, the new cycle begins. A cycle of purpose, a cycle of unity, a cycle of emotional and spiritual prosperity, a cycle of true peace, a love that never fades, because it was born in the heart of the Almighty. You will walk side by side with someone who carries the same marks, the same faith, the same calling. Together, you will be a living testimony that God's timing is perfect. Nothing will be the same as before, because now you know who you are. And most importantly, you know that the promise will be fulfilled. Declare this truth with all your faith. I receive this new cycle. The time has come for my divine reunion. This declaration seals everything revealed today. It is the key that unlocks the next chapter of your life. If this message has stirred your spirit, if at any moment you felt that God was speaking directly to you, do not ignore this sign. This message did not appear before you by chance. It was heaven that sent it, at the exact moment you needed it. God is calling you into the new, and the news has already begun.